Si Ellen ito nih. Ellen.
Loli, ya.
Ako mo ito yung namin. Igeda niya sa Yırtısır o yırtısır. Bicara itu. Tibras na sa ware yar no. La ware yar na ito si sama. Tibras na meriso.
Ya. Ikaw mo.
Bravo yung.
Sambil dan rada mah tron capis lah, main saling itu.
Ayun at siya.
We all live busy and active lifestyles, and we don't want muscular and body pain interrupting our day. Try Transact, South Africa's #1 pain relief patch. It effectively treats 8 common types of body pain. Get 12 hours of uninterrupted relief with Transact.
Everyday benefits summarized. The cargo, the skinny, the skirt, the straight leg,
Rada bisa lihat.
Nah,
the chicken.
tayo boleh ang suwara ka sepatu.
Fit for every kind of you. That's better. Good hair.
Not to bully me into thinking that I'm anti-wearing a dress. Why would I care about little commentators calling me homophobic or self-hating black person? I'm not any of those things. I'm anti-stupid. There's a lot of stupidity going on right now.
I honestly want you to be pregnant again just so I can see you today.
Your home is in order. You have everything. You feel safe.
Yeah, you stood on your business, bro.
Right. That's when I lost respect for Jay-Z and gained more respect for Kanye.
What do your prayers look like when you and God?
Well, yeah, that is a very personal question.
If I got killed for speaking up for what I believe in, just know we're in heaven and we're
As
celebrating.
a Christian, it bothers me that I allow the school system to inform my perspectives to not care about human beings.
That's so powerful. I just want to take a second to say I absolutely agree. More often I sit down with somebody and say I'm excited.
I am too. Thanks for coming down, by the way.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And your whole team was unbelievable. I was like, they wanted us to shoot with your spot, and I was like, no, I want to shoot on mine. I feel like it would be too much like your show, and I felt like it would be too home court advantage. You would interview us, and dude, they just blinked, and then like everything was set up here. Oh my god.
The home court advantage. But thank you so much for coming on. We're so thrilled. Yeah, I've done this, I think, had it on my set since I did the Nelk Boys podcast. So this is the first time we've done this again. I love that.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, I hope you enjoyed just as much. You remind me a lot of Andrew Tate. So when I did the interview with him, he said something that stuck with me forever. Now I can't unsee it. He says, in the eyes of God, you're either going to be a number or a name. And that's how war is. In war, you're either a number, like you're a soldier, or you're a name, like you stand out. Like you did something, even if they killed you, you still stood out and you know who you are. And watching your timeline, I realized this about you. Regardless of where your heart is, you will be at the front center ready to fight for it. I want to take the time to learn from your POV, because in this podcast, we do help people see from our point of views. And sometimes it's scary because you learn. So like, have you ever just like been so certain on a thing, and then like a 180, and now you have to fight the people that had your viewpoints before?
Well, I mean, my story in politics is that I was a liberal, and then I became a conservative. And I would say when I was a liberal, by the way, to be clear, I was never voting Democrat. That's one of the biggest lies that the media always publishes. Like, she was a Democrat, and then one day she realized she could make more money as a Republican, which is such nonsense, given the fact that if I wanted to
Ikaw mabait po.
I would have been
Mabait ba na?
The entire media loves the left, but I would have been on the cover of Vogue if I had said Black Lives Matter and here's why. So I definitely did not take the easy route there, but you know, I think that'll probably be the base example of really having to fight was just the way in which the media attempted and still attempts, but I think a lot is their Black Americans kind of waking up to it, to turn Black people against me, which was hard. I would say it was very frustrating to realize that when people print things, people that read them just accept that it must therefore be true without actually even watching a clip in its context, without actually, and this still happens to this day, like people just want the information, a journalist has a lot of power, Candace said this, and it's something that I've never said, and they just believe it.
I was watching your hearing when you were, they used your words and they spun it and they made it seem like you were laughing at the mass shooter that wrote you in his letter. And I just want to take that moment right there. So paint me the picture of you being a young black woman, being told what black people are going through by many white people around them, and then they're taking your words, because you know everything's typed for the media, so they'll be able to quote it. They spin your words, they put it for you, and they say, swallow this, you said this. How do you not lose your mind and say disrespectful things, you lose your temper, you get into, no, you just sat there, and I could tell, you know what it looked like? It looked like you were angry, but you sinned not, which I really love that point of view. You were able to just dismantle them without any disrespectful tone. How long does it take a person to get to that capability? And how did you feel in that moment?
You know, it's funny that you started talking about the analogy of war, because I would say that in moments like that, I am never more focused or more clear when I realize that I'm under attack, right? And I think that's a part of adrenaline, where adrenaline can be very clarifying. And I just saw red and I recognized what it was, and I just pinpoint shot like a sniper. And I think that, yeah, the biggest part was just I was under attack and it wasn't fair, but I definitely didn't get to that point by any training. I always tell people, wherever you want to go in life, make sure that you're leaning towards who you naturally are. And I have very much been this way since I was a kid. Like, my parents tell me stories all the time growing up that I was just kind of one of those precocious kids, and they would constantly have to like close the door and laugh because of what I was saying. Like, you just imagine like a 4-year-old reasoning with you, and she said this, blah, blah, blah. And so I think I've always been a person that pushes back against what I deem to be arbitrary authority. Like, I didn't like when my mom used to say growing up, do this because I said so. Like, that's something that I would instantly be pushing back at as a toddler, right? Because I'm just, what do you mean because you said so? That's not logical. I want an explanation. And I think that very much that is the media complex today. It's like, this is reality because I said so, which makes an enemy of me.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I respect you so much is your ability to be so eloquent and well thought out, and you're able to make all your points. Like, in that moment when you sat there, you were able to take all the points that they're like saying and then make your case. And I just think that it's such a beautiful thing to watch and such a wonderful thing for a woman like you to show an example for other women, and you truly are a role model for them, to show that you can be strong in your point of views and make your points clear, but also be, level-headed. You didn't need to cause a scene or anything like that to make your point.
Yeah, you stood on your business, bro.
Right.
All of them like, what does she mean by that? I said that, like, oh, I get it.
And there was someone, like one of the judges, when you spoke, he was 40, he said that and he was like,
yeah, he gave you your time. Yeah, that's sick.
it was like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
I want to take a step back. When you were a liberal, why were you a liberal? Were you influenced by your surrounding, or was it your parents that influenced you? What influenced you into making that decision?
The entire ecosystem. I mean, the propaganda that we all grow up with. I'm so interested in what it takes to create a human mind, what elements it takes to create a human mind, and I think obviously the biggest elements, you obviously brought family. My family didn't care about politics, so they were apolitical, which
Ja, zelfs een vraag is wat dit was.
just instigates how powerful
Kaptein,
and limited
ook nog eens hier.
at zero,
Ik
right?
zie.
That's what they want you to do.
That's
Die ook
what
druk.
it could be. It's great to be apolitical,
Well.
right?
Because you're not fighting against them.
Exactly, and so then your
Okay,
ideas
nee,
are
solid.
going to be seated
En op mijn
from the
nek.
education system. You get in
Oh,
school,
I
you
like
get
this.
6 hours a
Nee,
day,
solid,
and
bro.
it's telling you, well, if you're a Black American and you come out of school, or if you're a white American and come out of school, you have a viewpoint
Maar ik
about
ga slice maar de
slavery,
eerste
about the
keer.
Republican Party being racist and
Maar je
backwards,
komt
and
af.
Democrats
Toen ben ik terug naar de auto.
Black people somehow, which is just so counter to what actual history is. It's almost stunning to
I
think
thought
about that.
Republicans did that.
Yeah,
Maar
well,
ik zag
in
het
the
ding.
school system, you take
Ja,
away this
je-
idea. If you want to wonder
je
why
voelt
black
die naald
people
bij
vote
jou.
for those and Democrats, because the
Lagi
textbooks
tinutulak
make you
is-
think
Oh.
that LBJ, because he literally was the person who signed, the Civil Rights Act, but they don't contextualize that. They don't tell you that LBJ was an avowed racist. He was essentially forced to sign it because there were riots. He was angry about having to sign it and came up with a plan that he would, quote unquote, have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And that plan was welfareism, the Great Society Act. You don't learn that. Just a Democrat signs the Civil Rights Bill and you got all of your rights. It's
I charge you for
here are
sweets.
the villains, here are the heroes.
They rewrote their story.
They rewrote their story.
Genius.
It is
May
genius.
five
You
of
gotta
charge
respect
for
the
algorithm.
move, right?
Oh.
My mom used to always say, think like a snake, be pure as a dove.
Depende op
So you gotta know how deep they'll take
Pin.
it. And what they
Zo
do
zit
is
het.
Ja.
beat the living crap out of you mentally, physically, emotionally. And then they'll say, we were the ones that took care of you. And you'll be like, no, but if you say that
Maybe
many,
both,
many
you
times
think
in
so.
different variations,
Uh-huh.
you'll somewhat be like, okay. It's kind of like when you're in a bad relationship. When somebody's like, that you love, will tell you the good things to confuse you, but his actions to everybody else are like, oh, that guy doesn't love you. So, okay, you said that you were going there because of your ecosystem. And I love watching kids. I honestly want you to be pregnant again, just so I can
Say that, sorry.
I truly feel like, dude, you're like, get over it. I have no time for this shit. And bro, like, I would pause it and just die of laughter and send it to all my friends. Like, she needs to consistently be pregnant. Because you're just very straight to the point. But I have to play devil's advocate. When you see a young lady with, blue hair, and she has her signs, and she's saying things that are just regurgitated from somebody else, do you not have empathy and see that you were that human being? That she's doing the same thing. She's standing at the front lines trying to defend what she feels needs defense, and you just shatter them where they stand.
No, that's exactly what they need. They need a parent, right? That's the problem. I was a liberal, but I was never that. Like, right? Think about what those students are doing. This is an event they are not forced to attend. It is a ticketed event that's being held by Turning Point USA that is meant so that conservatives can finally hear their perspectives on these liberal totalitarian campuses that are just basically applauding Marxist principles all the time. They rarely get to hear a conservative speak. So these people are choosing to buy tickets to attend an event that someone that they hate is speaking at, right? Then they get in line and they stand up so they can say that they're a victim.
Heartburn is caused by stomach acid tribe. Gaviscon double action neutralizes these and forms a Gaviscon barrier to stop them rising for up to 4 hours. Gaviscon.
That they're even standing at this debate, they're not even there. Like, we talk about victimizing yourself. This is completely ridiculous. And what's happening in this scenario is that we now have a society where people don't believe in parenting. This is a weird thing where people now, we went from like, put them in timeout, went from like, you're gonna get spanked, which is my generation, at least my
Want ik zou voor de sieraden op de oude rest. Voor die boeken het Kim Corrections geworden ook. Hij wil ook heel lang, ook heel lang kunnen doen, hè? Weet je maar eens, ik trek, hoe zij kun je maar weer.
You don't spare the rod. I talked about this in my last podcast. You don't spare the rod. The reason why the Bible says don't spare the rod is because if your parents are not going to discipline you, somebody else will, and their mindset.
Exactly.
So you were, okay, so
you're absolutely right. It's an absurdity. There's nothing here that you've been victimized that you bought the ticket, you took that ticket, by the way, because my events are always sold out because conservatives are so desperate to hear people that represent their beliefs. You took that ticket and that seat away from somebody else so you could stand up here and say, what do you have to say about people that feel victimized by your presence?
Yeah.
It's like that is just so infuriating to me. It tells me directly what kind of a parent you have. Right? That you just can't mind your own business. And the reality is you're not victimized by their presence. You just need more attention. You've been getting way too much attention for your every feeling. You look like a validated child, right? You've been validated. You've been affirmed in your gender, in your ideas. You just didn't get slapped up across the head like I did when I was growing up with my mom. I mean, I got things, I don't even know what I got booked for. Afterwards, I'm like, I'm not even really sure what I did there.
Yeah.
Like,
But did you rethink when you wanted to do something?
right, and I sort of have this privilege mentality of like, every time I have a feeling, everyone needs to listen to it, you know?
Yeah.
We're paying for the trophies that are participating.
Yeah, the
Or
participation.
like the everybody wins. When you were